Hello, everyone, my fellow Earthlings. Welcome back to the podcast. I am sitting with a lovely woman here. We are going to dive into a very fun conversation, I believe, today, something we've been recently exploring on the podcast. I have Jessie Johnson with me on the show. Hello, Jessie. Welcome to New Earth Podcast.
Thanks so much, Nixie. It's awesome to be here.
Well, I think that's sort of the root of what I've experienced, and from what I hear, those that are going through this really wanting to change, really wanting, desiring, changing the story, making a lot more money, maybe not even making a lot of money, maybe it's just having basic needs met and being able to create something that does leave a legacy or has a lasting impact. And I think that how to like getting beyond that old story, because like you said, like systematically we weren't taught money, not a lot of us, unless we were maybe raised in a family where there was a lot of money. But even then I see a lack of understanding on how money is even made or exchanged. And we're kind of at this breaking point of new paradigm where we're realizing, first of all, we are women, we identify as women. And so with that even being said, women have had a history of not being able to make the amount of money that women are making today, not that long ago. So as we're in this like change and new paradigm of money and growth and economic growth and how that's going to impact us as individuals and as a community and as a collective, I really I'm curious, like what do you see as that stepping stone? Like how do we really step into that if you were to kind of paint the story for us to walk up those steps? you know, it's like,
Well, it's powerful hearing you talk about the gender piece, because of course there is that pattern, and also the sort of financial education piece that was also striking, because you're totally. I mean, I was a math teacher. I know exactly what's taught and not taught in most math curriculum, and money is often left out completely. And if there is a financial literacy class, it's very limited. It's not that practical. None of that, however, talks about true agency around money. So traditional financial literacy is powerful, and I'm not knocking it. I think it's really useful, but it's not what I teach. It's got nothing to do with what I'm doing, really, truly. Because what I'm doing, teaching, talking about is really about locating in ourselves what we feel called to do, what we feel desire to do, understanding what the financial component of that looks like, and then knowing that we can create that, regardless of if we've ever made money like that before, spent money like that before, charged money like that before. That's the part that I think is so revolutionary. And like, frankly, it's more like the work of activism or art making than it is something that would be discussed on Wall Street, or in a math classroom. It's like a very spiritual, creative, and an activist conversation more than math or financial conversation, even though it's about money, because it's about our personal power. And it's number one, it's not difficult to make money. Kind of to my previous point, it can't be. The billionaires of the world are not working millions of times harder than the rest of us. That's not what's happening. So it's not hard. It is uncomfortable because it touches the core of whatever issues we have around belonging and abandonment. And it's not going to happen unless we make the decision that it matters to us. So we really have to be quite passionate about it in order for it to happen. We won't realize it by accident. And so I actually think there's the piece about, I hear you talking about movement. Like there's a movement of women who are clear. It's time. It's time for us to be making big money, because we want to be at the table where big decisions are being made, because we want to be having global impact. And money is not the only important piece of that, but it's a very important through line. It cannot be a blind spot. We got to have our eyes wide open around that. And I think that actually the movement really helps us gather the momentum and the courage to put our stake in the ground next to this vision that is often hard for people to claim just from selfish reasons. I have no problem with, like, you can want to make multiple millions of dollars just because you want to. That's great too. But most people really struggle to, like, especially in the spiritual community, to claim that selfish reason and use that as their sole momentum, their sole fuel supply.
Exactly.
Whereas the kind of mission or the movement of what changes in the world when women are universally empowered around money, and when Black women are universally empowered, like, that is a very different world than the one we live in. And that, I think, then that can kind of get people excited to get passionate about it, because they see what's possible, not only for themselves, but for the world, when our collective relationship to money shifts.
Well, we touched on it a bit here already, but I want to really hone in on what is, like, if you could get actually imaginative, creative, however you want to answer this, tapping into the vision for a new earth, what does that look like to you?
A world where we are not choosing between us and them, where we know that our choices are definitively in service to all, where we aren't choosing between contributing and receiving, again, where those things are coming in balance, and where we all know the truth of our personal agency, which is that we can do anything we want to. And that doesn't, I'm not trivializing the discomfort or real challenge of that, but that no matter what the discomfort, no matter what the challenge, it does not change the fundamental truth that we came here to create, we came here to contribute, we came here to receive. And we can, if the vision is here for us, it's because it wants to be in the world. We wouldn't have the dream otherwise. We wouldn't have the vision otherwise. We wouldn't have the desire otherwise. So, imagine that. Imagine a world where everyone is contributing in the way they feel called to and being compensated at the level that matches what they desire and positions them to continue to create. That's the world I want to build. That's the world I'm building.
Yes, you are. I see it, I feel it, and we all hold that with you. Thank you again, Jessie, for coming on. This really lit my fire, and really great way to end this Tuesday, or begin. I don't know, wherever anyone's listening. But thank you again for being here, and I can't wait to check out more of everything that you've got as offers and follow you, and everybody else. You guys can find everything about Jessie also in the show notes, so please check that out. And we will see you all next week, as always. Bye for now. Bye, Jessie.
Bye, Nixie.
Ooh, ale, ooh, lele, ooh, ale, ooh, le, ooh, lele,